This is a 2025 Ford F450 Lariat. And most of you know that the Ford Lariat trim did lose a few standard features. I have not mentioned one because I completely forgot about it, because most of the trucks I've done in a Lariat trim have had the Ultimate package, so it's kind of gone unnoticed to me. But we're going to go over in this video. I borrowed this truck from Larry H. Miller, Super Ford here in Salt Lake City. Nick Meunier did have this truck sold, so be sure to call him for availability. And let's go ahead and check out the window sticker so you guys can see options on this truck. At the very top is the description with the colors. And then here's a short listing of the standard equipment. Be sure to pause it. Down below are all the options. So that Star White is like a pearl paint for the most part, so there is an upcharge for it. The standard output Power Stroke does come standard, so it's only $3,000 more for the high output. FX4 package gives you the skid plates, engine block heater, rapid heat, and this one does have the wheel well liners in the front. Twin panel moonroof. Upfitter switches are now not a part of the Ultimate package, just as an FYI. This truck does have the tough bed, max recline seats. Lariat Ultimate package is right there for $5,075, which is the same price as last year's. And then that security code is now an option for $225. Base price comes in at $80,165. Destination is $1,995 with a total price of $95,385. For 2025, this truck did see a price increase of $500, and that's not a shocker because F450 is in a class of its own. I don't know why the manufacturers don't lobby to change the weight class ratings for these trucks. I think that if they had a 14.7 for this class of truck, you would be able to see more competitors, but Ford is the only one simply because of their aluminum bodies. Now on this truck, I think that at 95 grand, this is a good deal, even with all these options. This is a platinum. I did a video on this truck, what, a week or two ago maybe? That truck's about $103,000. So in the grand scheme of things, this one has just about every option. The only negative thing about it is you can't get painted bumpers like that platinum behind me, because it's not available for the Lariat dually trucks. But what is available in standard is LED headlights, fog lights. Also, this does have the 360 camera standard. And when you add the Ultimate package, it does give you those parking sensors on the front end. And Star White definitely looks great. Honestly, I don't think the chrome looks bad on this truck. I think white trucks have the best look with chrome. Fender flares are still painted. And then here is that wide front track. If you don't know, this is about 6 inches wider, which is why you have the large fender flares and you have the wheel well liners. Now, someone did tell me when you opt for these, it goes from a fabric material to a plastic material. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but as I see here, this is plastic, whereas on the ones without that option, it is cloth. So something to consider. But yeah, solid front axle. This one obviously has four-wheel drive too. And then here's a quick peek at those tires. These are the Continental Conti HDR 5s, 225, 70, 19.5 aluminum wheel, and has 3,970 pounds of capacity for single, 3,750 for dual, 110 psi cold. And these are G-rated tires too. You guys see some of your trimming on the side. They also give you the black mirror caps. They did this back in 2024 and it carried over to this year. And here's a nice side view of the truck. It's a really good looking truck. I think that Ford is the best for duals. They have the best design. And someone actually did complain about how they add on the dually side. That is not a negative. I think it looks good, and if you need to service the body, if you obviously damage that dual, you can replace it without having to replace the entire bed. So it's a no-brainer. You do have the chrome powder pullable running boards down there too, and they do work with the key, so as you approach the truck, they come down for you. smart key system on the front doors, and they are painted. You do have blind spot monitoring, and I would like to see a $500 or less option for painted bumpers. Honestly, it should just be a $0 charge, because painting them versus chrome, I mean, that chrome, you know, if you were to paint these front bumpers, you would have to knock all that shine off, so they have to shine them, obviously, right? But yes, they should make that an option for Lariat. This is where you're going to fill up at. 48-gallon fuel tank, 7.4 DEF. And then you have the steps here. Also, this is why you get that FX4 package, to get the skid plates. You do have a skid plate for the transfer case and for that large fuel tank. You can see the suspension from here. You have 4 leafs in the main pack with the overload. You can see the 5th wheel prep package there. They still don't give you an option for a liner out back. So you do have one here basically, but further back is all exposed paint. And then here's the rear. Very clean design. You don't have any emblems except for the Ford badge, and then they stamp Super Duty. Love that. Very clean. You have the Class 5 hitch, 3-inch opening. Also, you have your 7 and 4 pin incandescent bulbs there. You can see your light on for your receiver hitch down below. And the step. This does come a part of the Ultimate package too. And actually, we're gonna put it down. And I like to see the 5th wheel prep package with the spray in. I don't think I would ever get 5th wheel prep without spray in, because yeah, you're gonna damage this bed with your hitch and everything like that. So it's just nice to have that. You have your 7-pin and a 12-way plug inside the bed. The only option missing is your Pro Power. So if you don't get the 2,000 watts, you don't get anything. That's a shame on Ford's side. I think that they should give you at least the 400 watts that used to be here 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whenever. And then you do have a camera right there. And here's that twin panel. You don't, however, get a power tailgate. Now, just below, you guys can see that rear end. It's gonna have a 430, and it does have a limited slip standard. You guys see that diff cover has some cooling elements to it. Large brakes. They do provide a steel for your spare. Also, you do have steelies for the inner wheels too. No chrome here, but if you get that chrome package, you will get chrome tips on this truck. This is the 3rd model year for this new powertrain. Back in 2023, I did not see a lot of high output power strokes. In 2024, I saw a few more, but I still saw a good bit of standard output power strokes. For this year, I've only seen high output power strokes. So I think people feel more confident in this powertrain. Now obviously it's very, very similar to the standard. The only difference is it has 500 horsepower compared to 475 and 1200 pound-feet of torque compared to 1050. You have lower compression, you have more cooling, especially for the turbocharger, and the 10R140 is basically still the same transmission behind it. So I think that you probably will see a discontinuation of the standard output in the near future. I'm not saying I'm right, but it wouldn't shock me if even next year they do away with the standard output power stroke. I'm not going to take too much time on the interior, simply because I've done a lot of videos on Lariat. So if you want to go back and watch like my F450 dually video I did, the only difference between that truck and this one is this one has the max recline. So I will at least show this to you, which is really nice. I would get this 100% simply because this is basically your pillow. So if you do plan on sleeping in your truck, you can put the seat all the way down and this acts as a pillow. Or if you're not sleeping in your truck, this is like a shoulder support too. So you can pretty much adjust it out a little bit when you get the Ultimate package, it does give you your 4-way headrest. Also, you have heads-up display, a part of that Ultimate package. Now, you did lose your power for 2025. Also, they got rid of the trimming around the seat, and now you have Active X compared to the real leather that it replaces. This is more durable from what I can tell, so that might be a good thing for some people. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this extra feature they added to the Ultimate package. I personally don't like this because if you're trying to save money, I can see why you would skip this package. You still have rear parking sensors, you still get LED headlights, you still have 360 camera. So for some people, heads-up display, 4-way adjustable headrests are not a big deal. One thing I will tell you, I had a truck one time without the rear defrost. And if you get this truck without the Ultimate package, you don't get the power sliding glass, number one, but number two, you don't get defrost. And that to me was kind of silly. I think Ford, you know, I think they kind of played a game there. They made that optional for this year. It was standard for 2024, and I forgot about it because, like I said, most trucks being delivered in the Lariat trim have the Ultimate package. So if you don't get that Ultimate package, you don't get that. And that should have been a standalone option, because if you don't want to spend 5 G's, I would understand that. That would cost maybe 150 bucks maybe. And no, you can't get it as a standalone, which kind of stinks. But apart from that, that's probably the only other negative thing about this truck. But hey, you gotta admit, when it comes down to what you're getting in this package standard, they still give you a lot of features. By the way, wireless charger for the phone. This is good if you do plan on doing long drives. See, when you use your USBs for your phone right there, or the ones that are inside of this area, you have 2 Type-Cs. Those charge your phone really fast. So if you don't want your phone battery to get, you know, over time fatigue from fast charging, the wireless charger does charge it at a slower pace. So that is nice to have, and that comes part of that Ultimate package. They did take away the trimming that looked like this. See that? That used to be here. Now they just have you a gray trim piece here. So yeah, that's probably the only other thing I can tell you. Oh yeah, by the way, they took away the 12-volt plug out back. This used to come a part of the Ultimate package, but now this is a standalone option too. You still have your home link there, and downhill assist comes a part of the FX4, dual stage engine brake. They don't like to call it exhaust brake, but that's an exhaust brake in my book. They did restyle this area, by the way, up top. You guys can see. So some of the buttons are down here. If you don't get the FX4, the exhaust brake button here is just one big button, basically too. Push button start. And yes, last thing I'll show you guys. Actually, I'm gonna show you one more thing on the passenger side, but I gotta show this to you guys. Huh. So if you go to menu, actually let's go back first. Go to gauges, general measurements. You have your temperatures, all that good stuff. Then you have your diesel measurements. And then they give you auxiliary gauges here. You can add a turbo boost gauge up top. You can change around the gauges as well. And the tow menu for this is really nice. I'll show that to you guys in the future. You can actually have a tow mode for even your heads-up display as well. But let me show you guys a few things on this side, and then I'll show you guys the Payload next. By the way, you get a 14-speaker B&O with the Ultimate package as well. 8-way seat on this side, and look, the trimming all matches. If you are buying a truck, if it matters to you, I've noticed that some trucks have the trimming mismatched, so you might want to check that when you pick up your truck. You do have a little bit of storage right here, and down below. Oh, they don't have my sticker in here. Okay, I was going to show you guys basically the this is a drawbar with 3/4 pinhole. Huh. But yeah, if you don't get the camper package for these trucks, you don't get the certification for a bed camper. So I strongly recommend getting that. It's like $160. They say that it makes the ride rougher. I've yet to notice that. So last thing I'm gonna show you guys, because you don't really see these a lot, this truck does have the engine block heater right there. Hopefully you guys can see that right there. And it's right through there. Now let's go ahead and check out the payload, and then I'll pretty much end the video. Starting off with your axle ratings up front, you're gonna have 6,000 pounds. The rear is 9,900 pounds, 14,000 pound GVWR. And this one does have the 19.5 by 6 wide wheels. 4L is a 430 with a limited slip. And this truck has a hair more payload than the Platinum that I did a video on. 90 PSI for the front tires, 80 for the rear. Hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to reach out to Larry H. Miller if you would like to purchase a truck. As for Nick, see you guys soon.